Good morning. Today we're going to talk about solving two-step equations that have fractions involved. And there's two different style of problems we're going to look at today. First kind we're going to look at is where they have a fraction out in front of the variable x. So let's go back through our steps in solving a problem like that. Alright, so step one. We're going to draw a line down the middle at the equal sign. Alright, the equal sign is always the middle. Alright, now we want to identify where is the x, because that's the side that needs the work. So there's my x right over there. So I'm going to start by getting rid of any number that's not attached to x, but on the same side. So that means right there, that plus 1, that number needs to go away. And I'm going to get rid of it by doing the opposite of plus 1, which is minus 1 on both sides. Right, on the left-hand side, 1 minus 1 makes 0 and cancels out. I still have the 3/5 x, and on the other side I now have a negative 5. Same sign add, negative 4 and negative 1. Alright, now the part we talked about the other day in class. Multiplying by the reciprocal on both sides. To get rid of that whole entire fraction, I need to flip it upside down, multiply both sides by that number. Now, what magically happens on the left is that those 5's cancel and the 3's cancel, leaving you an x all by itself. Now on the right hand side, we've got a two-part multiply and divide problem. First is the, again, negative 5 times 5, and then divided by 3. If I wrote it that way, it might look easier. Looks like it's less fraction work that way. So if I do that, negative 5 times 5, that makes negative 25. But negative 25 divided by 3 doesn't work. So that's why it was in fraction form. It doesn't work, it doesn't reduce. But if you don't like that answer, you could also have used your calculator to make it a decimal. Negative 25 divided by 3 makes negative 8. Whoa, that's a terrible 8. It makes negative 8.3 repeating. Or if you're a person who's really into mixed numbers, this is negative 8 and 1/3. I am completely fine with this answer. I don't need you to make a change to every single thing. As long as it's reduced fraction, I'm okay with it being improper. All right, let's try one more like this. All right, so part B here. We're going to do the same steps. Step 1, split it down the middle and search for where the variable is. There's the x. All right, it's got a negative 1/3 stuck to it, so that's not what I'm going to do first. I'm going to get rid of the plain number, the minus 8. Always get rid of the constant numbers first. The numbers that are not attached to x or y, called constants. Alright, so that minus 8, I did the opposite as plus 8, and those will cancel. Bring down my negative 1/3, and on this side I now have 6. Alright, now just like we did before, to get rid of that times by negative 1/3, alright, I'm going to times by its reciprocal. Negative 3 over 1. Again, 3's cancel, 1's cancel, leaves just x. On the other side, I've got 6 times negative 3, and then divided by 1. So if you rewrite it, it sometimes helps. So 6 times negative 3 is negative 18, and then any number divided by 1 is itself. So again, you could have negative 18 over 1, which really equals just negative 18. All right, let's take a look at a little bit challenging one. All right, it's a little blurry. Sorry about that. All right, so the work is similar, except for, in these ones, the x is in the fraction itself. That makes it a little more different, but not anything crazy. So if the x is in the fraction, then the problem is the fraction. So to make a fraction go away, we can times by the number that you're dividing by. Remember, that's just a divide by 7. So if I times both sides by 7, those 7's cancel, and the x minus 1 is still there. On this side, I get negative 35. Alright, so again, when the x is part of the fraction, save the x for later, get rid of the fraction first. Alright, now that the x is not in the fraction anymore, now it's going to look pretty simple. I'm just going to add 1 on both sides, and we get negative 34. Right, let's try another one like that. Again, this time the x is in the fraction. It's way up here, in the fraction. That's a little ugly. All right, so what we want to do is we want to make that fraction go away. We're going to do that by timesing by that negative 5 that's in the denominator there. Again, the opposite of multiply is divide. The opposite of divide is multiply. So we got rid of the fraction. Now the x is not in the fraction anymore. And over here, 1 times negative 5 makes negative 5. Last step is to get rid of that plus 2. Remember, we're trying to get that x by itself. And I get negative 7. Alright, so a little ugly, but the work itself doesn't really involve much fractions. Alright, good luck. You know how to get a hold of me if you need assistance.